Hello. Do you ever get told that you beat yourself up too much? That you're too hard on yourself? Do your friends and family say that you're amazing but you're your own worst critic? Do you find that when you're on your self-development journey, sometimes you sort of feel like you're tripped up or fallen off your path, or maybe you've taken a few steps back in the wrong direction? Do you find that you start getting into yourself in these like beating yourself up cycles? In this video, I'm going to teach you how to not end up getting stuck in those vicious circles where you're beating yourself up and like being really hard on yourself. You know, as we're on our self-development journey, where we're shedding old beliefs, we're shedding old patterns, and we're really expanding what we believe we're capable of and our consciousness to level up in life. Every time, I'll show you on this quick little graph here, you know, you end up, this is where you are now and this is where you want to go. And sometimes, you know, this path here isn't as clear and as straightforward as you want it to be. It starts looking a little bit like this. And when it starts looking like this and you feel like, you know, why aren't I motivated? Why aren't I getting there fast enough? I'm smarter than this. I should have this figured out by now. You know, like those sort of like, you know, and then like all the negative self-talk happens as we, instead of the journey being this like straight line, it starts getting all wobbly and then we start beating ourselves up. Just remember that everything you've ever experienced in life up until now has shaped who you are. Right now where you are is the wisest you've ever been. You've got the best hindsight that you've ever had. And you've got, you know, you've achieved the most growth you've ever achieved. You're at this point now of the most wisdom that you've ever had. But just need to remember, what's tripping you up in here from where you are now to where you want to go, like the fears, the doubts, the limiting beliefs, those glass ceilings, and when you feel like you're spinning your wheels, what's tripping you up is something that happened to you years and years ago. So most of our mind, bringing out the iceberg again, most of our mind and everything we've ever experienced is in our subconscious mind. Everything we've ever experienced sits in our subconscious mind. A lot of our subconscious mind is formed when we're a small child. So what's tripping you up in life now, what limiting belief is underpinning all that, is usually a belief that you created when you were like 2 years old, 4, 5, 6 years old. Let's say, for example, this is just a broad sweeping example. But before I get into that, I find a lot of my clients, when we like uncover a belief, it's usually a situation that happened external to them that they blamed themselves for. So let's say mum and dad get divorced when you're a little kid. A lot of people at that age, at that very young, tender age, you know, you're 5 years old, you've only got the life experience and the brain development of a 5-year-old. Mum and dad get divorced, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, maybe I did something wrong. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe if I loved mum and dad more, they would have stayed together. Or maybe mum and dad aren't around as much as you want to be. They're at work. And you're like, oh, maybe if I was enough, mum and dad would be around more. These are broad sweeping examples, but all of us have something more or less that's happened in these formative years where we've cast doubt and we've blamed ourselves for. It's usually something external, but we've blamed ourselves for it, and it's created this real deep-seated, like unconscious belief that's sitting down here. And it's that belief that's holding you back now. Now, if you were in a room with this little kid and something was happening around them, and all of a sudden they got really upset and they blamed themselves for it, would you sit there in front of that 5-year-old and scream and yell at them? Would you be like, how dare you blame yourself for what's going on around you and the way your life is right now? Like, how dare you, you know, blame yourself for, you know, how dare you think that you're not good enough and you're not worthy enough because you got, you know, spelling bee wrong? Like, would you yell and scream at that 5-year-old? No, you wouldn't. You'd be like, oh, sweetheart, like, let's sit down and let's talk about what's happening. But just remember, that little 5-year-old's still within you. And a lot of our beliefs, as we're going through this self-development, self-growth stage, we're shedding beliefs that the 5-year-old within us formed. So when we are on this growth chart and we get to this point and we're tripping up and we're having a hard time, it's the little person within you that came to that. You're shedding beliefs that you've had since you're 5 or 6 years of age. Like baby you came up with that belief. So instead of yelling and screaming at yourself, like it was just little you. You did the best you could have done at that time with the knowledge and resources and the brain development you had. You did the very best. And it's just having compassion for yourself. It was baby you. And just have some, instead of beating yourself up, just have some gratitude that you're maybe more aware that there's something holding you back. A lot of people aren't aware or conscious of that. Just maybe be aware that there's something that you need to work on. And that's okay. We're all doing this as we go through our self-development phase. We're all shedding old things. So whenever you're coming up in life and you're feeling like you're getting tripped up, just remember, oh, this was probably 5-year-old me that did this. And that's okay. Now you're older, you're wiser, you have new tools and new communication tools and new concepts that you can put to work. And now you can go back and work on the 5-year-old you. Because it does, all of that stays within us, within our subconscious mind. And it's only when we become aware of it and then go to work on it that we can shift it. As I talk about in a lot of my videos, theta healing, we can shine light on that really quickly, find it, shift it, and get you there really quickly. But just as you're going through life, just keep this in mind, it was baby you who, every part of where you are now has happened over time. Self-development's a journey. Just have some compassion for yourself. Be really proud of yourself for the stand that you're making for yourself and your loved ones and the world, for the beautiful change you want to make in the world, and just have a lot of gratitude for you showing up to do the work. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of faith and good intentions for your life and the world around you to get you where you are now. So just have some love for yourself. This is going to make the journey of self-development so much easier. So I hope this has helped you today. Anytime you get tripped up, have some love for the baby you. Have some gratitude that you're, wanting to improve your life. And if you're ready to dig deeper and work through that, give us a call. Let's work through that. I'm really happy to help. Guys, I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I hope this little nugget of wisdom helps you on your journey.